Sandra Beasley. Sandra Beasley. Sandra Bell. Sandra Butler. Sandra Chastain. Sandra Coleman Madison. Sandra Gavan. Sandra Roberts. Sandra Shellnut. Sandra Stewart. Sandra Weaver. Sandra Williams. Sandra Stutz. Sandra Melson.
Here. We have, how many members? Nine present. We have a quorum. And Mr. Bell, and good. Ms. Weaver?
I feel like a deep freeze in here.
Yeah.
Oh.
What House members do we have here? None? Oh, Representative Crawford, you want to go ahead and go? We'll call his bill.
HB 384 by Representative Crawford.
Yeah. He hid behind the column. That's his fault. I would have gone ladies first, but sorry. I know what's coming. Senator Bell?
Thank you. I know some people that are involved in this. The tough job they do and what they're trying to accomplish. I appreciate you bringing this. And Mr. Chair, I motion for favorable.
Second. Or April?
Representative Crawford, I'd also like to thank you for the work that you do, and for everyone who is working on this. Thank you for all that you do. And this time I'd like to second his motion.
All right. Representative Crawford, thank you for bringing it, meeting with the people involved in this. We have a pediatric neurosurgeon here who deals with these sort of things. And, we get these, a lot of immigrants that bring their choice masa, I guess you call it maize, but they bring these in unfortified, and it puts them at increased risk. So thank you for bringing it. And if you will, we have a motion and a second. So would you call the roll?
Sandra Beasley. Sandra Bell. Sandra Butler. Sandra Chastain. Sandra Coleman Madison.
Aye.
Sandra Gavan. Sandra Roberts. Sandra Shellnut. Sandra Stewart.
Aye.
Sandra Weaver. Sandra Williams. Sandra Stutz.
Aye.
Sandra Melson.
Aye. 12 ayes, 0 nays. The bill is given a favorable report. Thank you very much. Call the next bill.
HB 322 by Representative Holk-Jones.
Thank you. Good
Welcome to the
afternoon,
committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
HB 322, I think y'all are aware of the postpartum depression bill. It's already passed the House, and this is the same as Senator Figure's substitute. This bill has to do with education and assessment of women with postpartum needs and postpartum depression. The biggest thing we're trying to do is to acknowledge the wonderful physicians and all medical providers that are doing a fantastic job already. This bill is to work on moving the middle. We all know in every profession we have wonderful professionals that are doing a great job, but we have to admit there is the middle and the lower that are not spending that quality emotional time with these new mothers, and this bill would encourage the additional education of postpartum depression.
Any questions from the members? Ms. Coleman Madison?
Yes, Representative Holk-Jones. You're right. This is the same bill that Senator Figures has, and I was just going over because it is on our agenda today, special order. But there's a sub. So is your bill the same, or are there amendments that you have that makes it?
Ours is the original bill.
Okay. Now this is a sub. It says ordered by Senator Melson. So Okay, that's what I'm trying to get straight, to make sure that it's the same bill. That, so that when we pass it, it is in line with hers.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion? Senator?
I move approval.
We had, Senator Butler, yours will be noted as a second to approve. Senator Stutz?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you and I talked about off the record, I'm not in favor of this bill, and I am 100% in favor of screening for and treating postpartum depression, but that's what well-trained doctors do, and this should not be a legislative issue. We don't tell people you're at risk for heart disease, so we're going to pass a bill that your family doctor has to check your cholesterol. This is not something that should be managed legislatively. If you said all doctors, I understand all doctors don't do it. The solution to that is if you don't like the care you're getting, find a different doctor. But it's not legislative mandating what kind of form you have to fill out on a patient, and that's what this is. It's a postpartum screening form, and if you score above a certain score level, then, you're at risk or you have it or whatever. But like I said, this is just not something that should be legislatively managed. It's we don't mandate legislatively that if you're overweight, your doctor has to screen you for high blood pressure, or if you got a family history of heart disease, that they have to screen your cholesterol. This is so anyway, I'm going to vote against it, and I want to explain to you publicly why I'm voting against it. It's not something that should be handled here.
Yes, sir. Thank you. There was discussion from the medical community about not having an actual form, so we didn't put everybody in that box. This is education and observance and making additionally aware. They're again moving that middle to have that discussion and awareness of the patient.
Ms. Coleman Madison?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Senator Stutz, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think that this bill purports to tell doctors that what you're already doing, but as the representative has stated, to close the middle. A lot of this bill, the main reason is to provide the Department of Health, Public Health, basically that this is a mandate that we want you to provide up-to-date educational materials so that people can be educated as you pass out this information. A lot of these patients, and the women, use the services of our health departments in the counties. So the up-to-date material needs to be there. They need to be aware to make sure that they are pushing it. But the bill says to further require doctors to do the assessments. Well, many of them are already doing. We're not trying to tell them how to do their business. The main thing is that we get our own health department on board. And this points out this morning, many of you were visited by the Alzheimer's advocates that were here this morning. And again, their thing is that, I'm saying, well, do we need a bill? She said, basically it's about education. We understand that our departments don't talk to each other. It's sad. We all represent the same people. We're trying to close that gap. But if we don't communicate, and Alabama has, I don't know if other states have this problem, but Alabama has a serious problem with our departments not talking to each other. And I realize a lot of it has to do with financing and funding. Everybody wants to be protective of their little thing because if they're doing something, it requires a cost. But this requires us to work together to better educate the public so that we can get the word out and nobody falls through the cracks because of the lack of knowledge. So that's more what this bill is in line with.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it.
Any other comments from the members?
No, so move for approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Senator Roberts?
I'm looking down page 2, line 52. Basically, a physician or other healthcare professionals shall exercise professional judgment in recommending or not recommending any treatment. Dr. Stutz, how do you interpret that as a physician, or Dr. Melson?
Go ahead.
Well, those kind of things concern me because somebody has a score, a significant score on their form that they were screened with, and then in your clinical judgment, you chose not to prescribe medication for it. It's just another option for a liability issue for them to say, well, why didn't you treat them? The form said that they that they had postpartum depression and you didn't even treat them. So that concerns me. The other thing, and I know the bill has changed, and you and I have talked about this, but originally the bill was basically industry driven. There's one medication that has a label indication for treating postpartum depression, and I've treated hundreds of people for postpartum depression with SSRIs, SNRIs, those classes of drugs. And where this is headed is Medicaid's already asked for more money to cover it. There is one medicine that's brand new medicine that is very, very effective for treating postpartum depression. Not that the others are not, but it has a label indication for it. Where this is headed is we're going to now require you to use the medication. It may not be, it's not going to be this year, but said that was the origin of this bill, and we're going to require you to use this. We don't require step therapy anymore. In other words, you're not going to try another medicine for a day or two to see if they're getting better. You're going to automatically go to the one that has the label indication for it. And, oh, by the way, a course of treatment with that medication costs about $16,000. And so that, let's just admit, that's what was originally behind this postpartum screening bill and where it's headed. And like I said, qualified medical professionals that take care of pregnant women, that take care of postpartum women, are already screening for postpartum depression. I did it for 32 years. Sat down and talked to every patient postpartum. How you feeling? Are you taking care of the baby? Are you getting out of the house? Are you interacting with your family? All those kind of things of sitting down and actually talking to the patient. And but the agenda behind this is getting that medicine out there that's $16,000 for a course of treatment. Mm-hmm. That's what drove the original bill dealing with postpartum depression.
May I just add one thing, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
On page 3, subsection C, it says, nothing in this section shall be construed to establish a standard of care for physicians or other healthcare professionals licensed under this chapter. So, you want to get the information out. And let's face it, if we're going to be honest about it, most of the legislation that we pass down here has some other ulterior motive. Somebody's bringing it to us or what have you. There's a lot of people out here toting water. So I'm just saying that, but if there's something that we can do to better educate, again, you as a physician, your practice better than I, as the others do. I don't think any of us, I certainly would not be telling you how to treat your patients or what is in the best interest. And I think that's why this last section was added.
Thank you. This goes back to things such as we all know, Joint Commission requiring pain scores. And you had to give a certain drug for a certain pain score. And if you didn't, you got docked. And then you wonder why there's a opioid epidemic after they forced them down your patients' throats. And, but it was our decision to give it to them, even though they docked us if we didn't do it correctly by their protocol. And I think that's where we all worry about it. And we had a similar bill that, kind of favored a non-opioid over an opioid this year, and it's kind of gone to the wayside. So it is a slippery slope when we bring these type bills that kind of do a recommendation. That's what our professional guidelines are for. They set the standard and the recommendation for us to follow. And you may step outside that guideline and be reprimanded or by another colleague or whatever for whatever the situation arises. But when you start putting these type bills out there, it does make a physician nervous about, I didn't follow that. And I got to worry about the trial lawyers or some other organization thinking I committed some not standard of care because it's codified instead of a person who lives in that world making the rules and regulations. But we have a motion and a second. So if you will, any other comments? Call the roll.
Senator Beasley? Senator Bell? Senator Butler? No. Senator Chastain? Senator Coleman Madison? Senator Gavan? No. Senator Roberts?
No.
Senator Shelnut? Senator Stewart?
Aye.
Senator Weaver? Senator Williams? Senator Stutz?
No.
Four to 7, the bill does not give a favorable report. So I apologize for that, but I think the members voted with their came up with a reason, and appreciate the members taking a hard vote against such a nice House member coming up and doing this. But thank you for your
Yes, sir.
presentation.
We'll continue to work on it.
All right.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
help, committee.
HB 346 by Representative Lee.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you, Senator Chastain.
I'll handle this for Representative Lee. Members of the Retired Physicians Volunteer Program is going to remove the 100 volunteer hour minimum service requirement for retired physicians to hold a volunteer license. Hopefully this will make it more attractive for retired physicians like our recently retired Senator Stutz to volunteer, to be a pool to volunteer on a limited basis in free clinics that these physicians will have to maintain their continuing education requirements as required by law. So if any has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Senator Roberts made a motion. Senator Williams second. I guess we better call the roll.
Senator Beasley? Aye. Senator Bell? Aye. Senator Butler? Aye. Senator Chastain?
Aye.
Senator Coleman Madison? Senator Gavan? Aye. Senator Roberts? Aye. Senator Shelnut? Senator Stewart? Aye. Senator Weaver? Senator Williams? Senator Stutz? Aye. Senator Melson?
Aye. 12 ayes, 0 nay. The bill is given a favorable report. SB 236 is the bill that we had a 4-4 vote last time. I'd appreciate the members. We'll do a roll call, but I appreciate it getting out of committee, working on it, and we're not going to do anything further. I'm sorry? It's the hemp bill.
One of many.
Oh, I'm sorry, 237. We carried over to 336. I apologize. We didn't say that earlier. I know last time you didn't have enough time for the substitute, even though you dropped one for the midwife about in a split second, and we just kind of voted it. But you're one of my favorite on the other side of the aisle. So anything you can do to help me here, I would appreciate. And if you will, just call the long row. If there's no discussion, if there is, I'll be glad to have it.
We haven't discussed SB 237.
We did.
Oh, we had a public. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, believe we discussed it.
Okay.
All right. So call the row.
Senator Beasley? Senator Bell? Senator Butler? Senator Chastain? Senator Coleman Madison? Senator Gavan? Senator Roberts? Senator Shelnut? Senator Stewart?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say briefly, I'm going to help you get this bill out, but there's a lot of work to do. And I also just putting you on notice that I'm working to create a resolution for a study for our state, to study the implications of hemp. I understand that this is a new thing that we're doing in our state, and I'm interested in the creation of a hemp task force to study, because we have a lot of legislation coming up, and I'm concerned that we may end up in lawsuits. Other states have faced numerous lawsuits because of the banning of hemp products, and I don't want us to end up like how our state spending a bunch of money and having our laws overturned in courts. So that's a huge concern. Let's work through it. Let's have our hemp task force. Can I get a commitment?
Is this an aye or a nay?
It's an aye.
What happened to that briefly part?
It's an aye, but I do want to work with you.
Understood. And I will.
Okay.
Senator Weaver? Senator Williams? Senator Stutz?
Aye.
Senator Melson?
Aye. 10 ayes, 2 nays. Thank you, committee members, and we're adjourned.